Hello, everybody. This is Bolaji Ojo, Managing Editor of the Ojo-Yoshida Report. And this is our daily CES Consumer Electronics Show. And of course, I'm here today with Alfred Vollmer, who is in Las Vegas attending the show. I know it's been a very, very busy couple of days for you, Alfred. So thank you for joining us. It's about 6:30 in the morning. I really appreciate your taking the time. So first thing is this, how was yesterday? How did it go?
Yesterday was great, really. I got so many impressions and I really appreciated being here. Yeah, as you know, I take these impressions and they last for the rest of the year because CES provides me a possibility to get inputs that I can work on over the year and in order to be able to, let's say, um, put all the information in the right drawer, as we say, that I can open later on. So it's really, really good. For example, the company Zeekr, they showed, I made some notes, the fastest charging battery on Earth, as they claimed. I didn't test it, but they said within 5 minutes, they can add 300 kilometers of range. And that is really amazing.
Is that a prototype or that's ready to go?
Oh, they are going to be very, very soon ready to go, as they said.
Isn't that a US company? I believe it is.
Zeekr? No, Zeekr is owned by Geely, like Polestar, and they are
Right.
out of Gothenburg, Sweden.
Okay, right.
So it's Swedish and Chinese in one thing.
Well, the Chinese, they literally own the EV battery market as at this point, but basically now Europe is getting in on the action. So
Yeah,
you believe that they're going to be able to deliver on that?
I don't know. I didn't check their facilities and their checks and balances, but the way they talked, they will really be focusing the European market first and then the rest of the world with Zeekr. So I think, considering how many Polestar cars are already on the roads, they might have a good chance, and all the other manufacturers will have to catch up. So it sounds very
Well,
interesting, and I will keep on following. But I personally don't follow the cars that much. What I do is the interior, the architecture, the way how
technology,
to design the cars from an electronical point of view. And there
right?
in this area, I did some research. For example, by
Okay,
wire technologies have been showed and SDVs, software defined vehicles,
right.
or the way from an object level perception with classification and bounding boxes to a scalable AI based approach. And AI was really the buzzword. Everywhere you saw
Yes,
AI. We talked about that.
right.
So this is really going on. But there's one thing I forgot regarding the Zeekr car. The Taiwanese contract manufacturer Foxconn showed a car at the NXP booth
Ah,
as a
right.
technology demonstrator, and they called the car Foxtron. It looked very interesting, and we should follow that because Foxconn is really, really big and very experienced in manufacturing at attractive prices. So
The
we will
question
see.
here, Alfred, the issue, maybe this is not directly in line with the topic of electronics and car. Well, it is in line with cars, but electronics. Foxconn is a contract manufacturer. And the question now is Foxconn going to become an automaker itself? Is it going to suddenly become an auto OEM, competing potentially with some of its likely customers?
Um, I don't know, but basically, I doubt it, but maybe they do everything in the background, a little bit like Magna does in Austria. Yeah,
Right.
they out of Magna's factory, there are some cars like the Mercedes G class coming out, and it's branded Mercedes-Benz, but manufactured by Magna. Yeah,
Okay.
something like
So
that is quite likely from my point of view. And what they want to do is a lot of that design in support. Just
right.
like Flex does, they are very active in the automotive business. They say
You know,
we can help you designing your car electronics, and of course we can manufacture it.
Well, so maybe I can get into the car manufacturing business myself too.
Think about it.
If they do the design and they understand the manufacturing and they can put together the vendors list and get everything together, all I need to do is come up with the funds and voila, my car is on the road. We call it the Ojo Mojo car.
We'll see. But basically, this model, I think, might have a really good future. Some years ago here at CES, Sony introduced a car. It was just a show car. I don't know if we were even allowed to sit in. But now, this year, they really unveiled a new car together with Honda. Sony Honda Mobility showed the Afeela 1, Afeela 1. And I think this sounds interesting. And the way they unveiled it shows me they want to sell the car. So we have to watch the market.
Okay. So what else caught your attention on such a busy day yesterday?
Yeah, for example, Valeo showed an AI-assisted evacuation after eCall. So once the eCall is started, the people can switch into the car remotely and have a look around the interior camera, the exterior camera, so they can see is there any smoke or what's going on. And this can help also determining, do we have to send one emergency car or two or three? How many people might be injured? I think that's a very interesting approach. By the way,
yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, they are saying we will be able to implement that for OEMs. We are ready, but until you will see it on the road, it will take a few years. But that is up to the discretion of the OEM.
Okay. Now you are going to mention one other item.
But what I'm going to mention?
You wanted to mention something else just before I cut you off.
Yeah, of course. Let's stick to Valeo because they showed and explained very comprehensively the DevOps cycle, so development operations, the continuous integration cycle. And the way that they did it shows me that probably this has not totally arrived at all OEMs. And from my point of view, this is the future because this allows you to update the software in the car over the lifetime. That is very important. And I found an interesting quote at the Sonatas booth. I wrote it down. Let me check it. They said, where have it? When you look for it, then you don't find it. Here we are. They said SDVs are platforms for innovation, and that's exactly the way it goes. SDV is not a self-fulfilling promise. It's not a product. It is just a vehicle to get the vehicle done and to bring the functionalities into the car in a way that we can have very attractive cars.
I think the whole concept is here. I mean, you mentioned Sonatas, and Sonatas is one of those companies that we've talked with in the past that's involved in this whole SDV development thing. SDV is not something that we're talking about that's going to come in the future. It's here right now. And the only question is how much of that is coming up.
Yeah, exactly. For the car manufacturers who have been in the market for a long time, this is a bigger problem than for the newcomers who could have a greenfield approach to start with, like Tesla. For them, it was easier. And are you still there? Then I will continue anyway. I hope you're here. Sorry, I don't see anything anymore. I will just tell you something. Maybe something from the side. I was very delighted to see the company Intellias over there. This is a Ukrainian company who immediately after the Russian attack on Ukraine moved out parts of their company to other countries. For example, I talked to a Ukrainian lady who is now stationed in Italy. I talked to somebody who is in Poland and so on. And they were with several people at the show at CES in order to offer their services to the customer. I think this is really worth mentioning.
Okay.
And what we talked about was the SDV.
Right.
So many design approaches were SDV oriented and AI oriented. But On the other hand, the SDV, or not on the other hand, SDV enables you to implement new functionalities. And one company from Israel showed something very interesting, which is
Tell me about it.
which is also very well related to Las Vegas. The demo was taken at the 45th floor of the Venetian. And when we entered the room, we already smelled alcohol because they had two drivers, one intoxicated and one non-toxicated, running on a driver, very well monitored by blood alcohol measurement and so on. And this company named Correction, they detected micro movements while steering with a special filtering approach that we cannot compare to the normal Chebyshev filter or something like that. It's very different, which is AI based. They detect the micro movements and they detect that the driver is intoxicated. And depending on the algorithm, the AI algorithm they implement, this algorithm can detect whether you are intoxicated by alcohol, somebody was using marijuana, and he drove a different way. So it depends on which algorithm you have. Then you can detect is the person under alcohol? Is it fatigue, which is also a different pattern? Is it distraction? Maybe the children in the back of the car are making noise. Are you distracted by fatigue and by making a phone call and so on? This can all be detected by software only. It's a part on the software stack. They use the existing sensors. And when you consider that the Euro NCAP will soon require some functionalities like this, I think this is really picking up. They say within a few years you will see it on the road very soon.
This is very, very important, Alfred. So let me understand it very clearly. So you're saying that the detection comes from the motion of the driver. It's not that it's not a breath analyzer. It's just the way the driver is conducting himself or herself. They can detect either fatigue or intoxication by whatever substance, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it's just a piece of software added to the rest of the car. You don't have to have an additional sensor. And this is a very clever reuse of the already existing sensors, I think.
Wow, wow, wow. You know, there's a company in Australia called Same Machines that did a study of how drivers are impacted by distractions and things like that. So this kind of takes it to the next level where the automaker don't have the level of investment that they need to make to get to that SDV platform as far as this particular thing they want to measure it's not going to be as big, right?
Let's say it this way, the automakers really have to implement the SDV. This is a yes or no. You cannot say anymore, yeah, I will reduce the number of ECUs to 60 only or so. Now it's time to really focus on a totally new architecture. And I think we will see several architectures coming out this year. And this is the topic. This is also the topic of conferences. Yeah. If you have a look at the Automobile Electronic Conference in Ludwigsburg in June, it will have a lot of SDV stuff. And it is also very important that you use AI, which is a hot topic everywhere here. There is a conference very soon in the US on AI and safety, using AI for safety applications.
Right.
This is going on.
AI,
there's a lot of stuff.
AI and SDV, they basically go together.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But you know, do you have any other important things that you discovered that you want to share?
Yeah, I want to show you that there are also some other areas where we are still active. For example, on the TI booth, they showed a road noise compensation for EVs. So why for electrical vehicles? They are not as loud. And they said exactly this is the problem. You don't have the noise from the internal combustion engine, and then you hear the road noise, and this annoys the people. You don't have the permanent of your motor, and they compensate it. I think it's interesting. Or coming to TI, one thing I really like, in one DSP, they showed an application provided by LeddarTech where 5 radar channels and five radar sensors and 5 vision sensors were fused together by sensor data fusion in one single device, only a few watts. That is amazing, and I think this is the way we will be going.
It seems to me, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, many of these things that you're talking about with regard to the automotive and SDV and AI, these are not very far into the future anymore. These are things that are possible like now. And like you said, with regulatory requirements, some of these, they have to be done very, very soon.
Of course, yeah. And this is why we talk that much about it. And you can see it over here that also there is a trend again towards automated driving. Many solutions are going that way. So we will have a look.
Okay. Now, just my last question. So I made a note to ask you this because that's what I seem to be getting from the coverage so far. It's like the automotive industry stole CES. They're the story of CES, including of course AI. But it's like the automakers and the software developers and the auto semiconductor manufacturers. It's still one of the bigger stories at CES this year.
Yes, it's like the previous years. This is my 9th CES, and the reason why I came to CES was automotive only. I have been watching it already ahead, and once I was sure that I will get some interesting inputs, then I booked my flight to CES, and yeah, it is worth it. I mean, I meet so many interesting people. For example, the company Zebros, yeah, they do. They help you regarding your update process and getting all the data into the car and tracking everything down. Yeah, they have a booth over here, and many others. You meet them all, and they are influenced by, let's say, the consumer electronics. So you see what is possible, and then you think about, can we put that into the car? Let's talk. I also was in the Gizmo part yesterday of the show, and it was amazing what they did. Several things are game oriented. That is not my world, but the way they implemented it, and maybe you can go further. So there are some examples like the company Gentex, who made mirrors. Looking back, the way they combined mirrors with displays and so on was very interesting, because they know people with varifocals, like I wear them, have difficulties looking at a display in the height. The near field area is the lower part.
Okay.
So they have a mirror as well, and they look at everything. And what I like very much is Gentex now provides some solutions for medical purposes that can help people, for example, in the operation room. They use their automotive technologies and bring it to other markets. So it's, let's say, an infusion from every side. And that is something I like. And this is also CES.
Oh, okay. So Alfred Vollmer has been patrolling the floors of CES, and he's just told us what he has observed yesterday. So Alfred, what's ahead for you today?
Well, today I will have a shorter look at Umbrella and at the perception technologies. How can I very power effective get high performance in order to do my sensor data fusion and so on that I need for higher automated levels. And I will roam the floors and look for several solutions. Let's say it this way. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alfred. And have fun, keep having fun, and keep informing us and updating us on your discoveries at CES.
I will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.